A very good morning to all my lovely viewers. Today we are going to learn English through the medium of a story. And the topic of today's story is Little Prince, No Father. With the help of story, I have underlined some of the difficult words, the meanings of which I'll be explaining side by side. So without wasting our time, we should begin and let us see what is there in the story for us. Once upon a time, the king of Benares went on a picnic in the forest. The beautiful flowers and the trees and fruits made him very happy. So, the king of Benares went for a picnic into the forest, and there were so many beautiful flowers, trees, and fruits, and the sight of these made him extremely happy. As he was enjoying their beauty, he slowly went deeper and deeper into the forest. So, as he was enjoying the scenes outside, he was so lost in their thoughts that he went into the forest deeper and deeper. Before long, he became separated from his companions and realized that he was all alone. So, after a certain time period when passed by, he became separated from his companions. He became separated means he lost his companions long before, and companions are those people who accompany him along with in his tour, and realized that he was all alone. He went into the forest all alone while his companions were left behind. Then he heard the sweet voice of a young woman. She was singing as she collected firewood. So, when he went deeper into the forest, he heard the sweet voice of a beautiful young woman. She was singing a song as well as collecting the firewood. Firewood is the wood which is used to burn fire, used for all the household works, maybe for cooking or for boiling water or stuff like that. So that is called the firewood. To keep from being afraid of being alone in the forest, the king followed the sound of the lovely voice. So he was getting afraid too. Why? Because he was very much deeper into the forest. So, in order to stop himself from being afraid, what he did, the king followed the sound of that lovely voice and went behind that particular voice. Let's see what is further with us in the story. When he finally came upon the singer of the songs, he saw that she was a beautiful, fair young woman and immediately fell in love with her. Now, when he finally came upon the singer of that particular song, what he realized that the lady was a beautiful, fair young woman, and immediately after looking her into her eyes, he fell in love with her. Now, they became very friendly, and the king became the father of the firewood woman's child. They became very friendly, and soon after that, they had a child. Later, he explained how he had gotten lost in the forest and convinced her that he was indeed the king of Benares. The real story is going to unfold now. He explained how he got lost in the forest. He lost all his companions and went deeper and deeper into the forest. And later on, convinced. Convinced means made to agree that he was indeed the king of Benares, and he made her believe that I am the king of Benares. She gave him directions for getting back to his palace. So after listening to whole of his story, she gave her the directions how he could go back to his palace. The king gave her his valuable signet ring and said, "If you give birth to a baby girl, sell this ring and use the money to bring her up well." Signet ring is a sign ring used to show the sign of belongingness. Now, here the king is saying some words. So, these words are written in inverted commas, and this is our reported speech, the direct speech which is used here. If you give birth to a baby girl, sell this ring and use the money to bring her up well. Now he said, if you give birth to a baby girl, sell this ring and through the money you earn from that ring, raise the baby girl well. And if our child turns out to be a baby boy, bring him to me along with this ring for recognition. So saying, he departed for Benares. Now, if the child is a baby boy, then bring that child and that ring along with, come to the palace and then show me that ring for recognition. Recognition, pehchan, identification. So, saying, he departed for Benares. After saying all of this, he went away for Benares. Now, his reported speech started from here and it ended up till here. These are the direct words which are spoken by the speaker. In the fullness of time, the firewood woman gave birth to a cute little baby boy. The firewood woman gave birth to a very cute little baby boy. Being a simple, shy woman, she was afraid to take him to the fancy court in Benares, but she saved the king's signet ring. As she was a very shy woman, she was afraid to take her baby boy to the fancy courtroom of Benares king. That means where the king and all his ministers were present. That is the courtroom of Benares. She was a very simple lady because she was staying in the jungle for a long time. She was not aware of the system of the courtroom of Benares. So she was very afraid to take him to that place. That is why she didn't go there. But she kept that ring with her and saved it forever. In a few years, the baby grew into a little boy. As time passed by, the baby grew up into a little boy. When he played with the other children in the village, they teased him and mistreated him and even started fights with him. So, when he used to play all along with the other children of that village, they used to tease him, mistreat him, and used to fight with him. Mistreat him means didn't behave well. When you do not treat well with somebody, it is called mistreatment, or ill behavior is called mistreatment. So they started fighting with him. Now, what was the reason behind their fights? Let us see. It was because his mother was not married, that the other children picked on him. And what was the reason behind their fights? Just because their mother was not married and the other children used to abuse him or call him names. They yelled at him, "No father, no father. Your name should be No Father." Cause this made the little boy feel ashamed and hurt and sad. So all these comments which that little boy received, it made him hurt, sad, as well as very depressing. So this was the reason why they used to fight. He often ran home crying to his mother. He went home back to his mother most of the times crying. So what did he say? One day he told her how the other children called him. "No father, no father. Your name should be No Father." Now he told her mother the reason why and what did they say. "No father, no father, and that your name must be No Father." Then his mother said, "Don't be ashamed, my son, at this. His mother said, "Don't be ashamed, my son. Please be calm. Please be relaxed. You are not just an ordinary little boy. Your father is the king of Benares." Now she told the truth to her son, that you are not just an ordinary little boy. Ordinary means simple. Rather, your father is the king of Benares. The little boy was very surprised. Why was he surprised? Because he never got to know who his father was. He asked his mother, "Do you have any proof of this?" Now he asked his mother, "You told me that my father is the king of Benares. Do you have any proof of this?" Proof means anything which proves that your statement is the truth. So, she told him about his father giving her the signet ring. Now that signet ring was kept with her, she told his son about that signet ring, and that if the baby was a boy, she should bring him to Benares along with the ring as proof. Now, what was the condition? If the baby was a boy, bring the signet ring along with the boy to Benares and the ring to be shown as a proof. Now, these words she explained this to her son. Let us see what is going to be in the story further. The little boy said, "Let us go then." Now, this is the direct speech because it is directly spoken by the child. Because of what happened, she agreed, and the next day they set out for Benares. Now, what all had happened with her son, she was quite upset with that, and then she decided that they would definitely go to Benares. What had happened? Her son had been teased by the other children of the village. When they arrived at the king's palace, the gatekeeper told the king the firewood woman and her little son wanted to see him. Now, when they reached the palace, at the entry point, the gatekeeper told the king that the firewood woman and her son are eagerly waiting for you to meet them. They went into the royal assembly hall, which was filled with the king's ministers and advisors. Royal assembly hall, you remember earlier they said fancy courtroom. This is the same royal assembly hall where all the ministers, the king, and all other present there make the royal courtroom. The woman reminded the king of their time together in the forest. Now, what did that woman do? She reminded of the time they had spent together in the forest. Finally, she said, "Your Majesty, here is your son. Your Majesty, here is your son. I have brought your son along with me." The king was ashamed in front of all the ladies and gentlemen of his court. Now, the king was feeling quite ashamed in front of all the ladies and the gentlemen who were present in the courtroom. Due to which, so even though the king he knew the woman spoke the truth, he said, "He is not my son." Then the lovely young mother showed the signet ring as proof. Now, the king, he was feeling quite ashamed in front of all the people present in the courtroom, so he refused to accept him as his son. And he said, "He is not my son." Then the lovely young mother showed the signet ring, the ring which that king had given her as a proof. She showed it to the king. Again, the king was ashamed and denied the truth, saying, "This is not my ring." Again, he said, because he was feeling quite embarrassed in front of all the people, so he said again, "This is not my ring." He did not even accept about his ring. Then the poor woman thought to herself, "I have no witness and no evidence to prove what I say. I have only my faith in the power of truth." So she said, "Since I do not have any witness, I cannot prove whatever is with me. I just have my faith in the power of truth. Since she was saying the truth, so she was quite surprised. She was quite sure that she is saying the truth. So she was very much sure about that. Now, let us see what is going to be further. So she said to the king, if I throw this little boy up into the air, if he truly is your son, may he remain in the air without falling. Now, she is testing the power of her truth by, if I throw this little boy into the air, if I throw this little boy into the air like this, and if he is your son, if he is truly your son, may he remain in the air without falling. He should remain in the air without falling on the ground. And if he is not your son, may he fall to the floor and die. And if the son is not yours, he will definitely fall onto the floor and will die. This is what she put a condition upon. Suddenly, she grabbed the boy by his foot and threw him up into the air. Grabbed the boy from his foot means to hold that leg and the feet of that boy and hold it like this, like this. Lo and behold, the boy sat in the cross-legged position, suspended in mid-air without failing. Lo and behold is used to change the scene when that particular thing is going on, and immediately we need to divert the attention of seekers to something else. We make use of lo and behold. The boy sat in the cross-legged position. The moment she grabbed the son from his feet, that immediate moment the boy sat in the cross-legged position in the air without falling. So he sat in the middle of the air and did not fall down. Everyone was astonished, to say the least. Astonished means surprised. Remaining in the air, the little boy spoke to the mighty king, my lord, I am indeed a son born to you. So, when he was in the air, he definitely talked about this to his father. Indeed, I am a son born to you, means you are my father. You take care of many people who are not related to you. You even maintain countless elephants, horses, and other animals. Countless means one which we cannot count, can't be counted. And yet, you do not think of looking after and raising me. Now you take care of so many people, so many horses, elephants, and so many other things, but you are refusing to take care of your own son. Please do take care of me and my mother. Now, these were the words which were definitely spoken by that little child. Hearing this, the king's pride was overcome. Now the king's pride was overcome, and he was actually feeling very much ashamed of what he had done in the courtroom. He was humbled by the truth of the little boy's powerful words. Now he was humbled by whatever words were spoken by such a little boy, and he realized his own mistake. He held out his arms and said, come to me, my son, I will take good care of you. Now he realized this thing and said to him, come to me, my son, I will take very good care of you. Since the boy said that you take good care of so many other things, why can't you take care of me? Then he said, come to me, my son, means he accepted that that particular boy was his son. Amazed by such a wonder, all the others in the court put out their arms. They too asked the floating little boy to come to them. Now, all this when had happened, amazed means surprised. By such wonder, all others, those who were present in the courtroom, they were also satisfied, and they also put out their arms. They took out their arms like this and welcomed that little boy. They too asked the floating little boy to come to them, and they asked that boy to come to them because they had welcomed him with their open arms. But he went directly from midair into his father's arms. But what did he choose? From midair, he directly went into his father's arms. With his son seated on his lap, the king announced that he would be the crown prince and his mother would be the number one queen. When all of this happened and took place, when his son was sitting on his father's lap, he announced that his son would be the crown prince. Crown prince means one who is going to be the king after that king dies. Now he is the crown prince, and his mother would be number one queen, and his mother would be the number one queen. In this way, the king and all his court learned the power of truth. Benares became known as the place of honesty and justice. Now, when all of this incident took place, the king and his court learned the actual power of truth. That if the truth is actually the truth, it will come out and will be unlayered by anything, whatever comes in front of it, and became to be known as a place of honesty and justice. So that place, Benares, was known as the place of honesty and justice. In time, the king died. The grown up crown prince wanted to show the people that all deserve respect regardless of birth. Now, he proved that everybody deserves respect regardless of birth, in whatever place, area, or clan they have been born. Anything is not going to stop them. They need to be respected. That respect is number one, regardless of their birth. So this is what that crown prince assured and announced. So he had himself crowned under the official name King No Father. He went on to rule the kingdom in a generous and righteous way. So he named himself as King No Father. This was the official name of that crown prince. He went on to rule the kingdom in a generous and righteous way, in the correct manner and in the truthfulness manner. So that is all for this story. I hope you have enjoyed this story and learnt all the difficult words which were there in this story. In the next video, we'll bring up a new story for you. Thank you for watching.